Hello, anybody who is out there. Might not be anyone, Enzo. So
You
you've
need a
got to.
longer intro. You need a little time for him to roll in.
Oh, no, she's right. She's right. There's three people already. Look at that.
Well, one of them's me. Probably one of them's
One of
you.
them's me. Well, then there's someone there.
There's one person that was Johnny on the spot and came in. Thank you.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. But yeah, it is what it is. You've got to get me now when I'm in the mood. Got to get me in the mood when I'm not getting annoyed by the world. But yeah. So, but hello to anybody who may be lurking, and hello to anybody watching. Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks of me being lost out in the world, a lot going on my end. So I think everybody can appreciate when there's a lot going on in your own life, sometimes things take a back seat. So it took a back seat going live. Enzo, trust me, everybody, Enzo was saying, are you going live? Are you going live?
I was
Hello,
asking a
Heather.
question. No, I can't go.
No, I'd say no. I just couldn't be bothered. I just really couldn't. I just couldn't. Hi, Laura. Hello. And Heather, I have been watching you, Heather, lurking in the background. Lurking's always good. But yes, I was thinking the other day, if I had a time machine, Heather, I'd go back to the 80s. I really would. If anyone saw the thumbnail, hang on, I'll disappear myself. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, lurking is fun. Did you see the thumbnail, Enzo?
I did. I recognize some of the faces in there, but not all of them.
No, you probably don't. But do you recognise the one right in the middle with the arrow?
That's
me.
You with the Megadeth shirt on, right?
No.
Okay.
No, that's Eric Banner. Yeah, hang on. Hang on. There's in Australia in the 80s, yeah, they were a simpler time. We had, Dame Edna Everage. You probably know who she is.
80s and 90s were fantastic.
Hey, what was that?
The 80s and the 90s were
they
fantastic.
were just a simpler time, You said what you felt. Everything was pretty easy. Yeah, Eric Banner played a character called Peter, but you'd say Poida, on a comedy show because he was a comedian before he was an actor. Right? Con the Fruiterer. Yeah, all these great people. Kath and Kim, Kylie Minogue, Neighbours, a lot of things. I don't know what Australian shows America had. I don't think, unless you watched cable, I don't think you really had any about Aussie shows. Maybe Skippy. Did you ever see Skippy the Bush Kangaroo? But that's going back to the 60s.
No,
Hi, Cheryl.
Farscape would have been about it.
In Excess, Little River Band, but again, that was sort of the 70s, 80s. Oh crap, I've gone blank. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Oh, Tanya, what's the name of the Kiwi band that I love, And shit, I've got a blank. But they were really big in America. But again, I think that was the late 70s.
Certainly an MTV type band where that was in heavy rotation. What were those guys? What were they called?
Oh God, let me think. Struth, Tanya, Kiwi band, made it really big here in Australia in the 70s and 80s. And oh my God, I've gone complete. Neil and Finn. Neil Finn. Oh, what was the name of the band? Thank you, Tanya. Oh, bloody hell. That was like, I'm getting Alzheimer's, I swear. Crowded House, yes. Crowded House were really big in America. They had a lot of hits. And, of course, In Excess. But yeah. Johnny Farnham never made it big in America, but he didn't really want to either. Good old Johnny. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, and it's being lost. All of the same with America. America was pretty cool. Did you go to one of their concerts? Yeah, I saw them live when they were still a small band. They came out here. I used to do the pub crawls, you know, so you'd go from one pub to the next where the bands were playing. I was not a groupie. I simply went to the pubs because you'd see a band playing. I saw Men at Work, which is Men at Work did, I come from a land down under.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows those guys.
Yeah, Ozzy Crawl. Who else did I see live? Crowded House, in the pubs, In Excess. I saw them all in the pubs before they were huge.
Flock of Seagulls, were they Australian?
Nah. Yeah, never liked Midnight Oil. Never liked them. I don't know why. Just didn't like them. Although Birds of Burning wasn't a bad song. J.O.K. Johnny O'Keefe. Is that who you're talking about, Heather? Johnny O'Keefe. Yeah, he was 1960s, 70s. He actually sang, there's a story about that, and I've got to get it right. Johnny O'Keefe was one of our, 1950s, 60s type rockers, and he sang a song called Shout. So, and you know the song, gotta shout, shout, that song, right? Well, apparently he sang that first, and the guy who released it in America was out here, okay, doing a little tour, because they used to all come out from America and do tours in the whatever. Heard Johnny O'Keefe sing that song and stole it. So there you go. Yeah, he did. He stole the song. So Johnny O'Keefe, for the rest of his...
There's a lot of that.
Just stole the song. So he got a hit out of it, but I can't think of what his name was now. But there you go. Oh, yeah, the good old days. The good old days when you could call your best mate a wog. Or, like we did, a wog. I don't think you use that word in America. No, no. If you had, if you had a Greek friend or an Italian friend, but mainly Greeks, I think, wasn't it, Heather? You just say, you bloody wog. But back in the day, you had to be careful. It was how you said it. So if you had a mate who was Greek or whatever, and they did something stupid, you'd call them that. But then alternately, they'd call you a name. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of like friendly banter. It was used in terrible ways, but never use that word. No, never used that word, because that gollywog means something completely different. Tanya, did they use? I had a gollywog, but you don't call people gollywogs. I've still got a gollywog. Where is he? Oh, he's right over the back.
What is it for us foreigners?
A gollywog is a rag doll, like I never know, a black rag doll that looks like looks like blackface with the white mouth and everything.
Okay.
I think you have them in America, or had them in America. Yeah.
Yeah, not for a long time, but they were out there.
Yeah. The Western-oriented gentleman. Yeah. That was what it was supposed to be. But look, back in the 70s, 80s and stuff, there was name-calling back and forth. But generally speaking, there's always assholes that used it in a nasty way. But most of the time it was just friendly banter. Like, that's how I remember it. Same as walking past, getting whistled at by workmen, Now I walk past workmen, I wish they would whistle. But they don't. So, do you know what I mean? Like, it was just a more relaxed time. There was crap going on. Like, there was shit going on that people didn't like.
I think for a lot of that stuff, looking back at it nostalgically, I think you kind of were able to get away with a lot of that stuff because, honestly, a lot of people would just let that roll off their back. It was like, whatever. It's not a big deal. I don't care what the guys on the skyscraper are whistling at the girl going by. They're like, whatever.
Yes, I remember Dago. Dago was another name. I used to find that Dago was more said in a nasty way, whereas, like, I had friends, because I worked in a factory, and I worked with, Turkish people, Greek people, Italian people, German people. Like, it was very multicultural, and Muslim. The guys from Turkey were the Muslims, and the women, but they were pretty modern type, none of this covering your head shit. Pretty easygoing, and we would call each other names back and forth. I can't remember what they'd call me. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember, but it was all said in good fun. And people who said it not in good fun would get in trouble. Like, you'd say, "Oh, shut up, idiot," or whatever. Like, yeah, it's what's that? My mother used to call them all dings, but she liked the Italian. She showed me that they would have them throughout dancing. Well, see, your mum probably like my. Oh no, not my mum. My grandmother certainly. Coming from being born in the 1920s and 30s, my grandma, yeah, racist, but my grandpa not, because grandpa fought in the war, so he was in World War II. He fought alongside all sorts. But my nana would be, bloody Italians, or, oh, they're so dark. Go, what? I think I told people my sister dated a Greek boy. He was going to uni to become a solicitor, and my sister was dating him, and I hadn't met him yet. My grandma rang me up because my sister, for whatever reason, was staying at my nana's house or went to my nana's house to visit my mum, something like that. I get a phone call from my nana. "Oh, Karen, love." And I said, "Yes, Nana." And she said, "Have you met Susan's boyfriend?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "He's black." And I went, "What?" And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He's from Greece." "Oh, but he's very dark." And I said, "Well, it doesn't really matter, Nana. What's the problem?" And but that was the era she was born in. So, yeah, Heather, your mum is
she didn't
my
have
dad's
like the color wheel of like, okay, is this person this shade or whatever?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And like my dad is basically the same. My dad's 84 this year. And he's not, he worked at, I think it all depends where you lived and where you worked. Like, we lived in a place called Springvale when I was tiny, and it was primarily Greeks and Italians. Later on after Vietnam, it became very much a Vietnamese place, because I don't know why, but the government sent them all, like, instead of the government spreading people out, they just sent them all in clumps to places.
The U.S. does that too. Wichita, Kansas. That's one of the larger non-white parts of Wichita is a lot of Vietnamese folks. Great restaurants, but
yum yum. Yeah.
Amazing, like where their worship center is, which is kind of like on the edge of. It's amazing, just all the colors and fancy doodads going all over the place. It looks amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is by the 90s we left the Italians and Greeks alone and started on the Asian community. Well, Springvale got renamed Chingvale.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. I remember people had a lot of trouble. What happened in Springvale, and it did happen because I saw it with my own eyes, there were the youth, so the Vietnamese youth, not the ones that had obviously been through the war, but their children were starting up little gangs, and against. They were pushing the white and the Greeks and the Italians out. They were, because they were getting, these little gangs were attacking people. It was pretty complicated. It all settled down. I think it's all quite normal now. But at the time, there was a little bit of assimilation issues. But now the Vietnamese have assimilated. They're right in. Do you know, they have their community, but they're Aussie. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that
they assimilated.
they assimilated. So, yeah, I don't know. You've still got racist people out there that call people
You're
names.
always going to
You're
have
never going to escape that because it just is what it is, uneducated people or people who may have, like my grandpa. I've told you before, my grandpa had an issue with Americans. Bloody Yanks.
We can be a little arrogant, except for me. I'm perfect.
Yeah, I think that was his issue.
Yeah.
He said because fighting with them was, they thought they were the ants' pants, and he said they effing weren't. He said they weren't good soldiers, not the ones that he fought with, but he said the Negro soldiers were, the black soldiers were really good. So there you go. But again, that's it. But yet, Grandpa was never racist against the Italians or anything like that from memory. Didn't give a, because he, again, working class, he worked with them. They all worked. They were all in factories, building, plumbers. They came to the country with skills that were used, and they added to the country. So it is what it is. But yeah, so such is life. But yeah, at the moment things are a bit. I was telling Enzo before, guys, about the bill that was going to get introduced into Parliament tomorrow to pass. Thank God it got cancelled. Thank God, otherwise I'd be going to jail. So it is what it is. So anyone, but get this, Enzo. They've put in a clause. Okay. So there was that bill that I was describing that was going to make free speech, well, basically no free speech. If you said anything at all against the government, jail up to 5 years, right? So they snuck in gun laws into it as well, a change in the gun laws, which are so confusing if you read it. So water pistols, super soakers, that sort of thing, actually come in. There's a question mark. So anything that looks like a gun that's propelled by an explosion or has a any what do you call it, thing that goes what do you call the bullet that comes, missile, well, bullet projectile, thank you. Anything that has projectile is, no one's allowed to have one. Well, it goes on and on, right? But basically, the way they've described it, nobody. You
can have a slingshot.
Well, maybe, no. But they're talking about guns. So water pistols, the super soakers, because some of them come out with force, everyone's going, they're actually banning. So that means if you've got a super soaker or one of them Nerf guns, the things that come out, banned. And that's going to, I think that's going to get passed. So there's,
just stupid.
Yeah. What's that, Heather? A kaboom. There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. When?
That's an old Bugs Bunny, Marvin the Martian bit. Kaboom!
Kaboom!
To be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah, Heather. Yes, the Labor Party, in all of its stupidity, decided to write a 500-page hate speech bill, which actually doesn't deal with hate speech. What it deals with is free speech. So there's no mention in 500 pages of anti-Semitism. Am I saying it right? Anti-Semitism. Yeah.
Semitism.
That's the one, the Jew-hating one. And there's no mention of the Islam, radical Islam, like the hate speech that they preach. What is in it? Oh, it's 500 pages long, and there's plenty of people out there can break it down and explain it. I've watched, and so I've had it broken down. The basics of the bill. Anyone passed, so any video, text, the same as the UK, any video, text, meme, comment at all, if from the past or going forward, if they find it and they find you, you can be prosecuted and spend 5 years in jail, up to 5 years. If you, in any way, shape or form, say anything against the current government that they don't like, 5 years in jail. If you speak up against Islam, radical Islam, 5 years in jail. If you preach in the street from the Bible, okay, get this, so you're in the street preaching gospel from the Bible, if anyone passing you in the street is fearful, oh, they're preaching, it's hateful, 5 years. So all you have to do is make someone feel frightened or scared, whether there's any harm come to that person or not, right? So no harm, they've just heard you say, God loves you, right? They can go to the police and say, I'm frightened, that upset me. And you will be arrested and prosecuted.
Suck it up, get out of my face. That's just stupid. It's just
people, yeah. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Heather. But the problem is that's what he was putting forward. So anybody, so if you say, oh, Albo's a dickhead, and put that in writing in your Facebook, if they want to, you can be prosecuted. They consider that hate speech and instigating issues, like if you say anything that you're inciting hate. And I'm like, you know, so, oh, and the other thing was that the government would have the power to not eradicate or get rid of any party, political party, that they see as a threat or that they see as spouting hate. So if the opposition, the Liberal Party, says, what we're saying, like what Albanese is doing, you know, he's this, he's that, and the other, Albanese wanted the power to basically shut them down. And then so far as, like, say, Pauline Hanson's concerned, because she says Australia first and cease immigration and stuff like that, they could shut her party down. And they were really clever too, because she was on a because she wore a burqa in Parliament or whatever, they banned her from voting in I think it was a 2-week or I can't remember what it was, but she's barred from going into Parliament at the moment and voting against anything. So they were very clever too, that they rushed it through before she could come on and vote against it. But thank God the Liberal Party said this is BS, no way. And the Greens Party, who we were really worried about because the Greens Party's crazy, they also said no, but agreed to the gun laws part. So I think tomorrow they're going to present the gun laws part of the bill, which, as I say, is leaving it really murky as to whether or not you can even have a super soaker or a water pistol. Like, it's really weird. So if you get caught with any of those, you can be prosecuted. So I don't know, but yeah, we don't, and we just simply don't. We're supposed to be a democratic society, yet unlike America, you've got your First Amendment, right? You've got your first, you've got your second, but here we don't have that. We have a generalised democratic right to speak up and say what we think, but what this bill
sound like it. If someone can turn around and is like, oh, this makes me sad, or whatever it is, then you don't really have that right, do you?
No, and that's what's already, and that's what gets me, is there's so many people, bless them, but there's so many people who are not paying attention to what the government's doing, just living life and not realizing
that's kind of true everywhere. In the the US is the same way. A lot of people
the same way.
What's going
but the
on.
UK, like, people don't even, you can say, oh, in the UK they're putting people in jail for tweets, and people go, oh no, they're not. Yes, they are. 12,000 people at the moment per year. Last year, 12,000 people per year are going to jail for sharing a tweet. about, you know, like something as simple as, well, not simple, but like stop immigration, stop bringing in the Muslims, stop bringing in whatever, say anything like that, they're in jail. They've gone to jail. And that's what Albanese was about to do. And people wouldn't have known a bloody thing because they're not paying attention, and then gone out or said something and someone dobs them in, because it's usually dibby dobbers, what we call dibby dobbers, people who go, oh, did you hear? Oh, I'm going to tell the police they said that. And generally what happens, people dob on each other. And yeah, so it's really getting out of hand. It's, you know, or it was even going to be, what was the other thing that you had to be careful of? Anything. So yeah, so Christians were not protected under this bill at all. So if a Christian person, I don't know, if someone saw a Christian wearing a T-shirt with a crucifix on it and something on the back, which I've got one, I've got a T-shirt, and that person felt fearful, say a Muslim person said, oh, that frightened me, you can get arrested. No speech from no Christian person's allowed to do speech in the street, but the Islam people can. So if you want to, if the Islamists still want to preach in the street, so long as they're preaching from the Quran, they can do it. But there's not the same protection for a Christian or any other religion for that matter.
That's going to work out great. That's going to work out fantastic.
So it's pretty scary. So I think people need to.
Anytime a group is excluded specifically like that, it's never going to work out well.
No. So I don't know. There's, you know, and people, Pauline Hanson is our redheaded politician who for years has been called an idiot, she's stupid, she's racist, she's this, she's that. She's none of those things. For years she's been saying immigrate, they're not assimilating, you've got to stop if people want to come to our country, they've got to be happy to be here and become and assimilate and become Australian. That's what she has been saying for many moons. And now people are re-watching her in her old interviews and realising, shit, she was right. But yeah, that the mainstream media is still trying to paint her as a dickhead, which is a bit nasty. Oh, well, Tanya, do you know what though? In England, that's correct. Your jails have to be big enough, but in England, they empty out their jails to make room for this. So if you have a little look, and yeah, seriously, criminals were released. So people that had pretty bad criminals, some people at the end of their murder serving time or whatever, they were all released so that they could make room in the jails for this. And if you don't believe me, easy, just find it. Just try it.
Okay, all your murderers and pedophiles are getting out early because we got some bad tweets coming in.
We've got people that are tweeting things against the government.
Mean tweets.
And the other thing that's happening is Albanese is trying to ban X in Australia. So is Starmer. Starmer's trying to ban X in the UK. So I'm like, you can't. That's the same thing. It's freedom of speech. And if people are stupid enough to see something on X and it might not be real, like apparently there were pictures of Starmer and Albanese in bikinis. And Albanese took offence.
That is the new thing with Grok. That's the meme. Like the last 2 weeks is Grok put this person in a bikini, and
that's what they've been doing. So they don't like that. They take over the whole street. I was at Punch Bowl on Friday to pick something up, and they had taken over the streets, parking everywhere for their prayer, which is held in the community centre. Yeah, you see, it's really hard because I don't begrudge anybody going to church and doing their prayer thing. That's okay. But I've seen it, especially down in Melbourne, where they're actually taking over parks on a weekend. So families wanting to go to the park for a picnic or things like that. There's freaking a couple of thousand of the Islamic people praying in the park, and I don't begrudge that either, but go to your church, because the parks are for the people to go and enjoy on the weekend, not hang on, shit, well, we can't have a picnic because so I don't know, that almost, but I would expect the same from, like, if the Catholic Church suddenly said, oh, we're going to go and pray in the park on a Saturday, I said, no, you're bloody not. We want to go and enjoy the park and have a picnic. Piss off to your church. Like, I wouldn't care who it was. I'd say, no, go to your church. But yeah, it's getting, and I don't know when it's supposed to be being held, or if it's already been held, maybe you know, John. But again, another, which is, so after Bondi, the Premier of New South Wales, which is like our governor, like your governor, right, said, right, no more marches that are sort of like, the pro-Palestinian, none of that, right? But guess what? There's one organised, a big pro-Palestine, free Palestine and all that. So I'm like, oh, Jesus, these people have got nothing better to do. And yet I bet you that goes ahead and no one gets arrested. On Australia Day, there's a big march organised in Brisbane. Just an Australia Day march, and they will probably have signs saying, slow down immigration. But I'll bet you that there'll be trouble there. Like, it's just getting out of hand. I've had enough. I've just had enough. So, I don't know.
Well, that brings up the next question is, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I'm going to the march. I'm going to go to that march. I'm not going to hold a sign. I'm just going to hold a flag. But I'm going to go to that march because normal Australians have to wake up and pay attention instead of just turning on the news of a night time and listening to Channel 9 whitewash everything. Pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, you're going to wake up one day and go, shit, how come I'm not allowed to say that anymore? What? Who's in charge? What? Like, we're going to have a dictatorship. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be told to do something, and if you don't, you're going to be told to do something, and if you don't do it, you're either going to be prosecuted, sent to jail, and if you speak up against it, you'll be prosecuted and sent to jail. So basically, the government can do whatever the bloody hell they want to you, and you won't have a leg to stand on because you never paid attention and you listened to the bullshit. So people have to start, because that's what I've been doing. I haven't been listening to one side or the other. I've been reading shit and I've been looking at it. And you can use the UK as an example, because UK's gone to crap. It really has. Yet people still try to make out that the people fighting it's not a racism thing. It's really not. Yeah, I know, Cheryl, and it's not a racism thing. That's what Cheryl's saying as well. And it's not a racism thing. It's this is our country, just like America has a history, just like the UK has a history. The people that are immigrating to the countries, be they from Somalia or the Middle East, they don't come. Some do come, and some do really want to escape all the horrors and really do want to become American, Australian, whatever. Unfortunately, it's kind of minimal, because it's other people that are coming in and like John's saying there, just taking over. And because I don't understand why the government would allow that. They're not assimilating. So they're not saying, oh, this is great, and yeah, we love a barbecue, or, oh, this is great, yes, Your Highness, the King, or whatever. They're not assimilating to the history of the country that they're going to. They're wanting to bring their history and take over our history, basically push us out. And people go, oh, that's racist. It's not racist. It's fact. and you just need to look around. I can't stomach Melbourne anymore.
When they're pushing to change the laws to favor them and not favor you, specifically, that's not assimilation. That's invasion. That's a takeover.
Yeah. And I just, and I feel so sorry for the good ones. But it's just like anything else. The good ones need to stand up then and march with normal Australians and Italians and the Polish people and the German people, like everybody. It's just not people that were born here in Australia. Even our Aboriginal community should be going, holy crap. Because if they think for a minute that all of this crazy stuff isn't going to affect them, they've already got a struggle. So maybe it's time to overlook the struggles of the past from them and join up with everybody and go, this isn't happening. This is just like in America. It's not happening, guys. Like this, we have our rights and we want our country to be good. We want to be able to walk down the street and feel safe. You know, we just want to. Hi, Kathy. But anyway, yeah, you're racist, you know. If you say anything like that. So I think it's just scary. I did watch the normal news the other day just to see what was happening in the normal Australian news. Yeah, whitewash everything. It was whitewash everything, including what's happening over there in Minnesota at the moment as well. Just whitewashing it, like making it look like it's
the news over the whole Minnesota thing from 2 weeks ago now. I mean, like immediately within hours of when it happened, when the shooting happened, it was like, how the F? Look at this headline. What do you even mean that this person did that? I mean, we don't know anything yet. There's not been any kind of investigation. We have one crappy video angle of it, but then all the different angles came out of all the different, possibilities of how it all could have happened, to include one that the guy was actually had his own video that from his first person view, and you saw how it all went down. But the damage was already done. They had a couple of days worth of just this person, blah blah blah, and none of it was true.
No. And look, and at the end, I thought it was lovely that I think it was CNN had the woman who was killed had her father-in-law on, because she'd been married to his son and they divorced and so on and so forth. But they had him on and they were trying to get him to say bad stuff against the ICE agent, and he didn't. He actually said she went in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Turns out when you try and, run over a federal law enforcement agent, you're gonna catch a hail of bullets. That's how it works. She definitely hit him. Like, she definitely hit him, and he did get an injury and some internal bleeding. And someone actually turned around and said, "Oh, so he got a bruise." I'm like, dude, you've just said in one hand she never hit him, but now you've said, "Oh, he got a bruise." Like, yeah, he got a friggin' bruise. She hit him in the hip. From a law enforcement thing, because I've watched a lot of cops videos and all those things, all the different body cam videos and stuff like that over the years. I watched a lot of them. You ram any law enforcement agent, whether it's a local sheriff or police or in this case an ICE agent, you're gonna catch a hail of bullets, because the weapon is the vehicle.
Well, even me as an Australian, I'm told, and we've been told for years, when you go to America, if you get pulled over by a policeman, do not get out of the car, because here in Australia, you'd probably likely just jump out and go, "Oh, g'day, mate." Right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Do not keep your hands on the wheel.
Yep.
And don't move until you're told what to do, right? I, as an Australian, know that. So if I get pulled, I'd love to be pulled over in America so I can go, "Hello," but not get shot, but yeah, you're just told that. That's how it works. So when I watched it, like, it's never nice when someone is killed. But when you look into the background of this lady, She,
it's
she's got
from all of her
insane.
social media and her, I guess, wife, or maybe they're not actually married, or whoever her love interest was, who was there also, who was also in some of these videos, mouthing off to the guy or whatever.
Yeah. Drive, baby, drive.
Well, and then immediately after, did you hear what she said? Why are you using live bullets? Why are you using live real bullets? I think is what she actually said. It's like, that's how the gun works. It's basically, there's a bunch of people out there on social media that view this whole thing as some kind of weird LARP, live action role play, where they're freedom fighters. They're gonna go out there and stick it to the man and follow the ICE people around and get in their way and be a big hassle to them, and everything's, and they're just gonna drive away and have their little social media moment. And no.
The funny thing is, though, there's not that many of them, Enzo. Whenever I see the footage, there might be 100. There might be 100, right?
Probably this weekend you'd get into the hundreds, but like last weekend,
50. If I were the ICE people, I'd say, righto, get in as many as, because the problem is that the mayor is saying to the police, don't help them. So I would just, honestly, I'd just round them up and put them in the back of a truck and drive them out to the
governor
immediately
went out there. The mayor and the governor immediately went out there and said to do exactly what got this person shot. Get out there and you hassle them and you put them on the video, but put your phone right up in their face and stuff like. No, sure, go ahead, video all of it, because that'll actually probably prove that they were within their rights to do whatever it is that they end up doing. But that's just instigating everything to explode. They're trying for a George Floyd 2 thing, I guess. Because those same very people the previous weekend were under deep scrutiny of whether they knew or not knew about the multi-billion dollars worth of fraud that was going on in their state, which I think
that's huge. I don't know how many people watching are aware of that. See, again, if you're not paying attention, but yeah, something like 9 billion so far, 9 billion. And then they find out through the Minneapolis or Minnesota airport, the international airport. Is it Minneapolis?
Yeah,
because it's the Twin Cities, isn't it? And there's been a few whistleblowers, so actual people who worked in the security area, that were told to let these people through with suitcases full of money. Like, how does that happen? How does it happen that security, TSA, that
full of like millions of dollars worth of money? This isn't like I had a great weekend in Vegas and I got like $2,000 in cash on me.
This is millions.
Yeah.
And then that young Nick Shirley, I said before to you, Enzo, what a cutie, what a good little boy. But he's so brave. At the moment, he needs security, though. He's had his life threatened. But just going in and showing the Leerling Centre, the amount of comical cartoons I've seen.
Everybody's got a shirt with that on it now. It's a meme in itself. But
it's a meme in itself. But
we would have none of us would have known any of this if because he's what, 22, 23 years old.
23 years old.
A 23-year-old new YouTuber.
He's a little Mormon boy. He's a Mormon. And he's sweet and innocent.
Hey, you're supposed to have you've got like millions of dollars worth of funding coming into this place. Just want to, I want to bring my own kid in here. What's this place like? We just like to look around. Where are all the kids that are supposed to be here?
Get out. And then he did another thing the other day. He went into places that are supposed to be, what's the word? Truck shipment type places, all registered at these addresses, and the business isn't there.
20 different places, all with the same address, and it's just a empty warehouse.
And they've worked out that what they think is happening is that the Somalian people making the money are buying new cars like Ferraris, fancy schmancy cars, and have got these, they're shipping them back to, I believe, Somalia or somewhere there, and selling. So they buy the car in America for X amount of dollars, and they send it back to Somalia and sell it for 3 times the amount they paid for it. Then the money comes back to them. They're also putting money through to, the name escapes me at the moment, but the terrorist group from Somalia, tons of money going there. And I'm just like, wow. Like, and of course this ICE shooting thing is hitting the headlines rather than that. And I think that's half the plan. Yep. I think that's why Waltz and why the mayor. So the mayor has to know something about it. I think they're both going to go down in history as pretty evil people.
The way that they came out super headstrong about it, it was. I feel like they really overplayed their hand on that. Those first couple of nights, where it was just way over the top. ICE or our Yahtzees and stuff like that. It's too much. It was way too much. And then as the videos from different angles came out of the actual incident, where everyone on the planet could look at and like clearly see, yeah, she revved the engine. The wheels actually, it would have happened. Probably he wouldn't have even had time to react had she not been on a patch of ice, because you can see the tires spinning in the ice before he actually gets hit.
Yeah, I think so, Cheryl.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, I think there's honest people in every party. Like, I'm loving John Fetterman at the moment over there with you guys.
Isn't that bananas? The guy that had a stroke and had brain damage and all this stuff that they're like, bro, he's a hero. And then he spins right around and is like, no, this is stupid. What's wrong with you people? He's taking at least a centrist or an honest thing. It's like, well, let's find out what they come up with the investigation first. Oh my gosh, that's so bizarre to hear.
Yeah. And you know what else, Tanya? You're correct. They do let the power go to their heads. But I think too, even Albanese, right? Albanese was never a rich man. Most of our politicians here in Australia were never rich when they went into politics, but I tell you what, they're freaking rich now. We're talking multi-millionaires. Same in America. The only politician, I know people don't, the only politician who's gone into politics and hasn't made money in politics is Trump. It's his own money. He
had money. He doesn't
need it. Had money. He was already
he can't be bought.
I don't know, like you look at all, even so here in Australia it's the same thing. Like, obviously when you're in you're in Parliament, you're the Prime Minister, whatever, you're obviously going to be privy to information that if you use it wisely you can make yourself some money. Should they be allowed to do that? No. I think there should be some rules put in place, but then what's to stop them from telling their brother or do you know what I mean? So that's what do they call it? Insider trading.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
I don't know. I think it should. I don't know what the answer is. I do think in some regards, even in America, I reckon it should get to a point where unless you were born an American, you shouldn't be allowed to be in government. And that's a shame, because, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor.
He wasn't a very good governor, though.
He wasn't a very good governor. But he was still, but I think honestly, you need to be, but then there's, I don't know what the answer is.
It gets weird and complicated with specifically for like the United States, because it's supposed to be this melting pot of people coming in from all over the world. So I mean, it's still, to be the president, you still have to be born in the country and stuff like
born
that.
Born in America. But so look, I don't know what the answer is. I think over time, maybe not in my lifetime, but over time, something has to change. The people, because we vote, right? But what happens even here in this country, people don't pay attention. I was amazed that our current Prime Minister got in. I really didn't think he would. But that was because I educated myself to who he was and what he was. And I thought, no way am I voting for him. Plus, I knew he'd already tried to sneak through the freedom of speech thing, which got blocked by Pauline Hanson. People don't know that because they don't pay attention. Pauline's One Nation went in and said, you're not sneaking that through, mate. No way. And so I thought, yeah, no, and I knew about his history, and I thought, I'm not voting for him. So I voted for Pauline, but I sort of hoped that the other party would get in, and they're just as bad, to be honest. But yeah, surprise, surprise, he got in, and I think it's because people aren't paying attention. Oh, mum and dad voted Labor, I'm going to vote Labor. Labor, much like the Democratic Party in America, used to be Labor, or our version of the Democrats, I guess. Labor used to be for the people, the hard workers. Like,
Sure.
they're not anymore.
I kind of get that, because if people are busy, they're doing their jobs, they're raising their families and stuff like that. They don't have time to sit there and scrutinize every headline and
then of course they turn on their favorite TV channel and see their favorite presenter say something.
Hey, I'm driving to work, so I'll flip on the news,
and
which will be CNN, MSNBC, blah blah blah, whatever it is. And it's telling them just total bullshit. And it's nothing even close to approaching the truth about whatever it is for like the 10 minutes that they're driving to work. And that's what they know. Oh, okay. I guess I'll base everything I know on that one ridiculous headline that's not even true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do see over in America they're pushing for ID to vote. But that should just be a that's
for the last presidential election that we had. All of the states that flipped blue, that were all went Democrat, none of them require identification to vote.
Which means that you could be going to vote a couple of times.
Or there's a couple. To be fair, there are a couple of states that you have to show an ID, but it doesn't have to be a picture ID. It literally could be a government issue piece of paper, that looks like a CVS drugstore receipt, kind of a thing with no picture. Or you have no idea if that's really them or not. As identification. So it
should just be show your driver's license, or some, if you don't have a driver's license, show up some other form.
In Australia, when you go to vote, do you have to show identification before you go vote?
Let me think. Last time I went, I usually do mine postal, but I think the last time I went in person, no, but they've got a system. So you say, I'm so-and-so, and this is my address. And they bring you up and they go, okay, because you're on the electoral roll. So you're
on the voter roll. You don't have to show them like your driver's license or any kind of identification to prove.
No, because you've got to do all that when you go on the roll. You've got to prove who you are when you go on the roll. And then once they've marked you off,
so you're pre-approved. So
you're pre-approved, so to speak. Yeah. And once you're marked off the roll, that's it. We actually tested it when I voted last time, because I said to the fellow, I said, how do you know that I'm not going to go down the road and vote again? And I said, does the machine automatically? And he goes, yeah, well, let's try it. So my other daughter voted, and she said she was there to vote. And I said, just put her name in again. So he did the whole thing again, and a couple already voted. So the computer system stops people going. So you can't go to one voting station.
Check and balance.
There's check and balances, but yeah. So that's just how it is. But it should be the same in a big country like America.
You would think, however, that's where a lot of people are kind of finally coming around to it. That hey, look what it is.
It's Lewis. Oh, Lewis has been covering
Lewis,
stuff too.
Lewis has
He
been
had
following
Nate
a
the
few good
lawyer.
stories lately.
Yeah, he had Nate the lawyer. Hello, Big Ben. Are you busy, Lewis, or not?
Yeah.
You probably are. If you're not busy, tell me. You can come and say a quick hello. You don't have to stay forever. I don't think. Hang on. Let me see if I still got it.
I'd actually love to hear from Lewis about some of the things we're talking about, because he certainly went through a lot of. He went through the translation of that a lot of people did, where the initial reports about some of this stuff said, "Oh, this guy just." The ICE officer just shot her out in cold blood, and she was just a mom trying to get home to her kids and all that stuff.
Her kids, one kid, her other two children have been taken from
out
her.
of three.
I won't go. I won't speak ill of the dead,
but he came around, of course, when more evidence came up, and it's like, oh, I don't think that's exactly how.
I put the link in there, Lewis, if you want to come in. I understand if you can't, because for all I know, Lewis is going live in a minute. Lewis. Lewis had Nate the lawyer on. Score. Nate the lawyer is really good. I did put I don't know if anybody. It is a good shirt. I don't know. I'd share out Lewis's stuff when I can, but it's just been. I don't know what it's going to take for people to realise it's okay to turn on the TV and you see someone you trust telling you the news. But remember, the person that you trust that's telling you the news gets a paycheck. And where's the paycheck come from? Who's paying him? So therefore, what is he allowed to say? What is he or she not allowed to say? So that's why it's really important. Watch it, but then when you hear them say, oh, such and such and so, go, if that affects you, where you go, oh my God, go check it out. Go to other forms of information and actually check it out and go, now, is that true? And then half the time, if you watch stuff, you go, oh, hang on, they said such and such, but this said so-and-so. And, because if everybody just believed what they saw, for example, in the memes with that lady being shot, they'd believe that it was unjust. But it wasn't.
If you only had that, like the one video and the crazy spin that immediately came out, like not even like an hour afterwards, from the mayor and the governor of the state about that specific thing, which was so ridiculously wrong. Once all the other videos came out and you got to see it for yourself, it's like, that's not how that works. If you end up, the vehicle is the weapon at that point. She was not unarmed. She was trying. She saw the person, and she had to have seen the guy standing in front of the vehicle.
He had been. Well, if you actually watch the video, there's there's a part where he actually gets hit, but he walks around the front of the car. The guy's saying, "Get out of your car," and they're saying, oh, you shouldn't have stood in front of a moving vehicle. It wasn't moving. It was parked, and she was being told to get out of it.
Actually, when he was approaching it, when the guy, the one guy that hopped out of the other truck said, "Get out of the effing vehicle. Get out right now." Mm-hmm. When he was approaching and was trying to open the door, but it was locked, even though she had the window open. That she was actually backing up at that stage. She had reversed and backed up like a couple of feet. And that's when the other guy was walking around the front. And then she threw it, back into forward motion. And now he's right in front of the vehicle. That's when he gets clipped or banged, or however you want to say it. He was hit where he felt his life was in danger. And look at this from the law enforcement side of it. If this person's crazy enough to hit a law enforcement effort, an ICE officer who's a federal law enforcement effort, that's kind of the top of your food chain as far as law enforcement goes. If she's crazy enough to try and hit him, then she may stop if he got hit and got knocked down, lay it out in the street. She could have stopped and backed up and killed him for, sure, back then. You have to, it's their responsibility, or hit somebody else. That's if she's willing to take out a federal police, basically at that stage, she's able to take out anybody. There's no one else. That's kind of the top of the food chain as far as law enforcement goes. Anyone else is going to be lower than that, and she would think nothing of running them over as far as, she's using her vehicle as a weapon. So they have no choice but to try and stop them through any means necessary, which means as the person drives up, you're going to shoot through the windshield. You're going to, as they go by, you're going to, keep shooting until they stop. You've eliminated the threat. And for your safety and everyone else's is how law enforcement looks at that type of situation.
Lewis is trying to come in.
Come on in, man.
He said he was backstage, but I can't see him. So unless I sent the wrong link, which is absolutely possible. Oh, there he is. Hey, Lewis.
Hey! Enzo, what's up, Karen? I'm in Los Angeles right now. Look.
Where are you?
In Los Angeles. Look. This
there
real.
You are. Jeez, that's a lovely view.
clear skies, nothing on fire. That's what you're.
No, nothing for now. No.
Oh no! Yeah, I was very impressed, Lewis. How did you manage to get Nate the lawyer?
I've known him for a while, but I don't really ask a lot of people to come in. I forget to, or I don't know. Just I don't. I don't know. I just don't ask people to come in. Not anything. I just feel like they're too busy or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'll just send them an email. Yeah, because I was watching Asmongold. I don't know if you know him. He's like the biggest YouTuber, and he featured Nate. And my son likes Nate. I mean, Asmongold. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call. I should call Nate again. And since he had I mostly wanted to talk to him about his brain surgery, though. It ended up, talking more about this. So.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? Am I okay?
Yeah. Everything's good. Yeah, it's just been so crazy at the moment. I was talking earlier, Ash is just asking Karen, why is Australia in trouble? I won't talk about it again, Ash, but if you go back to the beginning, I'll brief it. But there was a bill that was going to be passed in our parliament, which is like your version of Congress, tomorrow, just basically stop free speech, and anybody who speaks out against the government or radical Islam would be jailed. Point blank.
Yeah.
That's it. Or if you made someone feel frightened or upset, again, jail. So like the UK is at the moment. But yeah, it looks like that's been stopped for the moment. Everybody said, no, we're not going to let that pass. But watch this space, because it doesn't mean they're not going to try again. That was a second attempt to do it by the Australian government, our government. But yeah, I'm looking at what's happening in America, because I love America. Everybody knows I love America. And I've been seeing what's happening, and Lewis has been covering it really well. So anyone in here who's watching now, please go to Nerd Report and Nerd Report Reloaded as well, because Lewis has been covering this ICE agent thing really well. And he had Nate the lawyer on. And for those of you who don't know who Nate the lawyer is, Nate is a lawyer. And he's very clever. So he broke it down with Lewis, which was, it was very helpful.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair about it and everything. And, but
that's actually my favorite thing about the whole thing, is because you can go through like the entire evolution of the thing, looking at your channel, where the initial reports based on just the one video and all the commentary from the mayor and the governor of the state, you were pretty angry about the whole thing, and I don't blame you, because a lot of that was the framed reference of the whole thing. But then as the days going on, we had more videos come out with different angles and stuff like that. And it's like, oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah, ultimately, I still feel like I would have taken the blow and gotten run over, because I cannot like do that to someone. I do feel like, and it's like that's a problem with I think my channel too, is like I'll piss off both sides kind of, but
Sure.
but here's the problem. The first video, if you look at the first video, there's one agent, the one with his arm on the on the window, was covering the agent that pulled the weapon and initiated the shot. So it's very difficult to see if he got hit or not. That being said, coming from LA, I really don't trust cops initially. They have to earn my respect.
Believe me, you've said that multiple times, and
Yeah.
I 100% back you up. LA does not have a very good reputation for being good cops.
No, and then and also that's kind of like, we shouldn't always just assume authority is in the right. But that being said, I know for a fact that if someone has a gun, you gotta do what they say, man. Because they have the pew pew, right? That's why robbers do use it. That's why people that are gonna, home invade, they use a weapon, because they know you're gonna have to obey. And I would have, if I were her, I would have just complied. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to do? Do you want me to drop my pants too while I'm at it? Like you have a weapon and everything,
Right.
and then later you get your revenge through the legal system, and that's the best.
Yeah,
The best way. I told my friend, if you really hate someone, sometimes stepping back, analyzing the situation, will get you a better victory than being like, hey, because the second video looks like they were taunting the ICE agents, and that's not
come
just
on, big boy.
I really got the impression that the lady that was actually driving and her
partner, I guess, I don't know, whatever's been reported.
What friend, whatever she was, that it seemed to me like from their perspective, they were kind of like role playing. Hey, we're social justice warriors to the max.
And I feel bad,
man.
And I feel bad, like even bringing it up here, because you two are beautiful white people, right? And it's good. It's good to be white. It's good to be brown. It's good to be black. Everybody's great. And I hate bringing up race, but I will bring it up over and over again when it comes to liberal tards, because that's what they love to say. I'm a person of color to them. I'm not a person. I'm a person of color, because ultimately they're the center of everything, and everything else has color, except white is a color. So that doesn't even make sense. But if you want to play that game, this is the white savior complex. All right. And stuff. And if they were truly fearful of ICE, they would have not been doing that.
They wouldn't have been there. Yeah.
Right.
Even in the ICE, the guy, the ICE shooter, the guy's video as he's going around, she's like, I don't hate you. I'm doing my thing, or whatever it was she even said. It's like she does not understand the level of trouble that she's in.
And also it's the white privilege, the white liberal privilege is showing too, because I have hung around black people in LA and stuff like that, and they do get harassed, bro. I mean, it's kind of like, we look at it, some even right wingers like sometimes look at it and go, oh man, they're complaining, they're making it up. No, black people get followed around everywhere, and it's even if they could be the best person in the world and they still get followed, and we get treated like that. That does hurt. It hurts you mentally, physically, and everything. And I have seen it. I have seen it. I've been with friends and like follow around, and they're the nicest guys ever, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So there is that aspect of it, to be fair, because I'm trying to be fair with my channel, and I'm being called all kinds of names, and it's always from the left wingers. It's always the left wingers are not tolerant, and I'm gonna call that out. They're mostly white liberals. Today there was a disgusting video from Minneapolis, wherever the protests are, where there was a guy who is complected like me, and they were beating him up. All right. And it's a bunch of white liberals calling him a Yahtzee. And, so it's like, isn't it? It's so weird. I thought the guys from World War II were Aryan. You know, I don't know. Why are you beating up a brown guy for wearing an American flag? It's so weird.
And that was the thing, is it was what he was wearing. He had just
did you see that video?
Flag. Yeah. Where it wasn't like he was screaming at him or yelling or anything. He just had an American flag shirt on.
And I'm going to say it right now. If Trump doesn't do something, F him.
Yeah. Actually, I love Trump, but I'm getting cranky. I'm getting a little bit cranky because there should have already been, I'm sure there's political reasons why he's not calling the insurrection thing, but he needs to do something. They need to go in and just stop this BS. And so far as Waltz and that mayor are concerned, I know they're currently under investigation, so apparently there's a crossing, but they've got to go to jail.
Well, listen, the mayor messed it up for the lady that was ended by ICE. And again, I'm going to emphasize here, what happened to her is awful. I don't even think she deserves that.
Sure.
What happened to her? Legally, though, she's not gonna. I mean, her side is not gonna win legally, as far as I could tell, because yes, even the mayor said this, and this is incriminating. If you guys ever spoke to lawyers or anything, they're very precise of what you say. They pick your words apart, and I think the mayor kind of incriminated, in my opinion, the lady, because the mayor said, all I know is that there's one protester gone and there's an ICE agent with a broken hip or something like that. Well, that implies that the car did hit him. So it's like, what? You just ruined it. The day before you said there was
just a concerned mom trying to get home to her kids.
Well, that's a fake narrative too. Now, I will say this: I don't know if it's right wingers or what, but they did put out a fake, well, as far as I could tell, a false narrative about the partner being abusive to kids, and I don't think that's real at all. So we have to be careful.
Heard that as well. That that's why she didn't get custody, because she has 3 children.
Yeah,
and the first 2 she does not have custody of for whatever reasons, and the story is because, well, I don't even want to get into it, but it does involve her current partner.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, it doesn't really matter what the current partner did or if they were bad parents or anything. It comes down to, did she deserve to die? No one deserves to die. But
legally
wise, laws. There are laws. It's really good for us all to sit here and say, well, maybe he shouldn't have shot, or maybe he should have just taken the fall, or maybe.
Well, I'm saying I would have, but I'm not trained. I'm not there because I just don't. That's why I'm not an ICE agent or a cop, because I can't do that kind of.
I could not do that job.
I can't do it. That's why I'm here as a keyboard warrior.
Could he have just got the tires out and got a laid up?
No.
Probably. But then
his angle,
because he's on top of the hood. He look at his positioning. This is, and I'm not saying you, but a lot of people are using like action star scenarios there. Shoot out the tire. Really? So if the car's going at you, you're on the hood. You're gonna go like this, and it's like, bro, like. Your hood, the hood's right here, right? Like,
right.
Boom, right? So you're gonna go, does that even make sense? Physics wise.
No. It would still have the forward momentum, and you're still gonna get hit, all of that stuff. And from the other angle, she was actually spinning the tires on the ice. So she actually, if it had been dry pavement right there, she actually would have hit him way sooner, and where he probably wouldn't have been able to have reacted. He just would have gotten hit and bounced off of the front of the car.
Well, there is an angle where it looks like he got hit. I mean,
he certainly got hit. Well, even from like his video where he walks around the car first, and then he ends up getting, the timing of it gives it puts all of it in reference, I feel, for a lot of people, where it's literally like that, where the car moves forward, he gets hit, he takes his shots, and whatever. Because I said it earlier before you came on, from his perspective, if she's willing to hit a federal law enforcement person, she could run over anybody. Or even if he like rolled off and rolled off into the street and did the my knee or whatever it was, he doesn't know that she's going to pop it into reverse and finish him off.
Well, there's some really weird scenarios here. It's like, well, the agent shouldn't have gone in front of the car. Well, okay. So like if a pedestrian walks while there's a red light, you could run over them. Like that ain't going to happen, man. Like you can't, the pedestrians always have the right of way here. And at least in California, I don't know if
it's the same everywhere. And he was already, that's what I said too.
He was already in the flow of traffic.
She was stopped. She wasn't moving. He didn't move in front of a moving car. He moved in front of the car that was stopped, and she was supposed to be getting out. So, but at the end of the day, it's always sad when someone's
it is. I don't like it because look, I don't like Tim Walz, and I think they had him against the rope, with the fraud. And this thing is a white liberal distraction to shake. Like they say, it's a distraction from the fraud that's being alleged over there. And, there's a lot of people, especially white liberals, love to, I'm going to keep saying that word because they love to call me brown. They never call me Lewis. They call me, they always want me to call me a person to call. So white liberals love to complain about no free healthcare. Well, if there's fraud, there's not going to be enough funds for free healthcare. Free education. Well, if there's fraud, there's not going to be enough funds. So all the stuff they claim to be fighting against, they're actually guilty of. And enough's enough. They need to be called out. And the reason they love communism is because it's an Eastern European philosophy. We don't have that in Latin America and stuff like that. And they want to make everything like their motherland. And I'm going to call them out. Because even when they want to move, like Rosie O'Donut, right? When she calls our country racist, where does she move? She doesn't go to Africa. She doesn't go to Mexico. She goes to even whiter version of America, which is Ireland, where the minority percentage is probably 0, right? But, I want more. America's is racist. I'm not calling Ireland racist. You got to look at the irony there. What I'm saying right now is all irony. I am not. By no means am I putting down Irish people, European people, anything. I'm putting these people's words into perspective and highlighting how full of what they are. That's it.
And isn't Ellen back now? Hasn't Ellen come back and just purchased a $25 million house in Malibu?
Did she?
I mean, where'd she go? England?
She went to England to the Cotswolds and purchased a $19 million or pounds home, and I believe she's back, and she's purchased. I don't know if it's in Malibu, but somewhere she's purchased another house, so she's back.
And then all these social justice people, like when you get into their the way they run their businesses, they're always really terrible people to the people they employ. Or the workers around them. It always comes out like that. And it's just like, we got to call it out and say, because they're lecturing us, it's time to lecture them back, in my humble opinion.
Yep.
That's it.
You can tell a lot about a person from how they interact with like their weight. Like that's like the secret thing where like a big company takes you out to lunch.
Yeah.
And they see how you interact like with the wait staff. If you're treating them like slaves, get me another drink of water, I need more bread, or whatever it is, that is a reflection of your personality, to where like, I don't know if I want this.
Yeah, they're like, when they take me out, they're like, eats with his mouth open. Eats way too much.
For a fifth basket of breadsticks. Yeah.
Checked out the waitress as she was walking away.
Blatantly heterosexual.
We don't hire straight guys here.
Oh, but yeah,
it
no,
is one of those
I
things that they used to do. I don't know if they still do it now, but
Maybe.
you to see, because I've noticed that myself. It's changed my opinion of people that I was like kind of tangentially knew. We would go out as a group, kind of a thing. And
That's interesting. I never looked at it that way, but you're probably 100% correct.
Right. If you're treating the wait staff like just slaves, or like you need to get this, you just treat them like shit, and then you don't even tip them well at the end of the dinner.
Well, you need the job to tip. You can't.
You're right.
Do you know what I used to, when I came to America and I got told, no, you're tipping too much, like from people that knew me, no, you're tipping too much. It's only supposed to be. But then because I'd have some money on me, actual cash money,
Yeah.
I'd go, and I'd get like a $20 note or something and roll it up and then go to shake the hand of the waiter and go, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then I would say, now put that in your
old school
pocket.
Vegas stuff. Like, yeah, there you go.
That's what I was doing. I was doing the mob thing, and I'd say, "Now you put that in your pocket."
Yeah,
this is for you. Your kids.
Food nowadays is so expensive that, like, it's ridiculous. When you order food, it's so expensive, and then for example, if you get it delivered, they want a tip on top of that. Okay, I understand there is a service coming in, right? That they're providing. But I bought food the other day for Lisa's birthday, and it was expensive as hell. And then they go tip. Well, I'm picking it up. Tip me. I tip you when you deliver it. Now I'm picking it up. Tip me. It's like too much. It's.
I hear you. It's
getting to the point where it's ridiculous.
Culture is super weird. Even living in America my entire life, it's still strange and weird, especially like today with like delivery like DoorDash and stuff like that, where there's so many.
They don't pay their DoorDashers.
Yeah, there's so many stories of DoorDash.
It's really low,
like that, messing with your food because you didn't do it in the app before you show up. But when you show up in person, they're like giving you like paper money. In person kind of a thing. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I left a bad note inside of your bag of Cheetos and fries or whatever it is. And I didn't know. I apologize, sir or ma'am.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh golly. Has anything nice been happening in America?
Yeah.
Something nice.
There's always good stuff.
Well, I don't know.
I will say this. I do feel like Karen is correct. The protests are pretty small. They've been trying to egg on, non-white people to protest, and they have not succeeded at all. Obviously, in my opinion, Governor Walz or whatever he is, he's trying to use minorities as pawns, but we're too smart for him. He thinks we're dumb. We're not dumb. But you know what? The art of war. If you underestimate your opponent, you already lost, Mr. Walz. Bam. Good night. All right. So just because that, they're not as big. LA's calm right now. There's been a few incidents and stuff like that. And I've spoken to a few of my I would say black content creators, and they're like, we're not going to protest. I've spoken to them on big influential people. We're not going to protest. There's one thing ICE is doing horribly, Karen and Enzo, is they need to be more vocal about the people they're apprehending. For example, and they do it. They do post people they're apprehending, but days after on the internet. What they should do, because I did see,
is usually when they say it.
What they should have. This would be amazing, but then again, that's this is too easy, and I don't know. Government tries to make everything difficult. They should have someone with a blowhorn, and ICE. And for example, I saw them go into someone's house and get the guy out, and all the white liberals were crying at this guy. And they're taking the guy out and they're protesting. They should have had, and then later on, you realize all the bad stuff the guy did, right? They posted. Well, what they should do is, as they're getting them, it's public. ICE is public. get on the blowhorn and say, today we're arresting Enzo. He is guilty of blah, 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 blah. Right? And then those people have to continue protesting.
They knew nothing.
Well, you know what I mean, right? Let's say the guy they grab is human trafficking, right? And
that was
dragging him out. Liberals are crying for him. Oh, let him go. And then you mention his name real loud and you say is being apprehended for not only being an illegal migrant, but trafficking at the same time. Your choice to stay here and continue to protest. Now you have it, right?
I agree. Yes, I was thinking that myself because I could see might have been watching a similar footage. I could see him going in and all these people. I'm thinking, turn around and tell him we're arresting this dude. Because
the black guy, right? With the lady. And and it's it looks sad. You don't want to see a woman crying because her husband got taken away, but you're letting the image show you, or they're dictating the narrative and the story. But what is the entire story?
What did this guy do?
Yeah,
and and all that sort of thing. So. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Or even if they announce, but then you don't want to pre-alert the people that you're going to get. So it has to be
they're there already. Not announced. They should do it during.
Yeah, just during. Have someone there. Yeah, have someone there.
Big banner that hangs over top of them.
Yeah, today we are here to arrest this man. And this is a picture of his victim.
Oh my God, look at that tattoo you have. What is that? Karen?
On me?
Yeah, those biceps. What the hell's going on here? You working out?
No, it's not.
She's getting ready to do a LA, visit the States.
Yeah, I gotta get them.
What did you think of the character that grabbed the rifle out of I think it was last night or the night before?
Oh yeah,
where he's got all the face tattoos.
I don't know that guy.
How do you think you're not going to get tracked down?
Yeah, we don't want those kind of people in our neighborhood, man. Like
right.
At least I don't. I mean, everybody has their. I always say it. This pisses off everybody. I go, this. You don't like ICE? Okay. Do me a favor. Sponsor an immigrant. You could do that. Sponsor an immigrant. Yeah, you could sponsor immigrants. Oh, it's only brown people they're getting. No, they're not. I've seen people from Australia have so much trouble getting just the proper document.
Oh,
back in the 90s, I know a guy.
Oh boy.
You're freezing nut to us.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, everything. And when he got hired at the work I was, it had to be under the table. And then and I'm like, why is that? Oh, because I don't have my papers, he's British guy, And then next thing you know, we schedule him to work. He stops showing up. And we're like, what the hell happened? Okay. He got deported.
Oh.
Really?
Country. The internet got messed up.
Is your internet getting messed up? Yeah.
You lagged a little bit there.
Yeah, the internet.
Yeah, Tanya says the government's blocking.
So internet went down, by the way.
Yeah, that's all right. I've got a big thunderstorm here at the minute, and I couldn't hear a thing.
I actually think it was my side.
Yeah, I think it was yours, because otherwise I think we would have all frozen up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For once, my weather is okay. It's actually
the fact that they beat up that guy. The fact that they beat up that guy with a jacket is infuriating. I was gonna go live with.
Yeah.
I know what Lewis is talking about, but yeah, it's been pretty bad. What about that other guy, the poor guy that was, I think he was a cameraman or something, and he's pulled up and they've gone him because they said he was ice, and he's like, I'm not ice, so that's my blood.
And that stupid,
the cameras.
And then that stupid B, which I will call her full name, the B, telling her, well, you shouldn't drive those kind of cars.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, man. Did you see I posted the video. right? Yeah. Well, they thought he was ICE, right? So they're racial profiling the guy. You know,
Right.
he's tall, white dude, middle age, and he's stupid enough. They're like, hey, why are you driving that car? He's stupid enough to bend to the.
Oh, sorry, the good part.
Yeah, and it's like he's trying to prove to them, you know, that he's not ICE, and then
He's actually lucky when he was trying to prove that he wasn't ICE. He's lucky that they didn't beat him up before he had a chance to prove it.
oh yeah,
And that's
Nice.
normally how it goes. Is
Yeah.
you don't get a chance to get anything out, or even if you do say anything, it doesn't matter. You're now labeled. You've got that label of ICE on you or whatever as the bad guy.
You know what I found interesting? You mentioned before the fellow that was wearing the flag that got beaten up. I've got a T-shirt. I love my T-shirt. It's just a T-shirt, an American flag. It's the American flag, the whole T-shirt, right? And I wore that to the hospital the other day, and some people didn't take a second look, and other people were looking at me, and I thought, I just thought, you probably think I'm whatever you think I am because I'm wearing an American flag T-shirt. And I thought, you know what? Think what you want. I like my T-shirt.
You'll get a when you come this summer, you'll get a whole new American flag outfit, I'm sure.
I will. Well, I got it in Virginia City, my T-shirt, and it fits so well. So I'll get another one if they've got them. We've lost Lewis. His internet's gone out.
Poor Lewis.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, and even I was wearing my T-shirt, that particular T-shirt last year. I was just at the store. I just went to the supermarket and I came out and some lady yells out at me, "I love Trump too," and I went, "What?" And I thought that was cool, but I'm like, I'm just got an American T-shirt.
Just an American
Like,
flag.
what does it mean that I love Trump? I love America. I think America's fantastic, or it needs a bit of help, needs a bit of work. But yeah, even Lewis was referring before to the fact that that if Trump doesn't do anything about this, you know, I'm going to get grumpy. Like, he's got to stop this. These people have to be arrested and put in jail. And I'm waiting for him to the Clintons, because the Clintons have been subpoenaed now, I think. Or they were subpoenaed and they still didn't show, something like that.
They've show up. Yeah.
They've got to be locked up. If it were you or me, we'd be in jail.
Yeah.
We've got a lady here in our government. She's an American citizen. She's got dual citizenship, and she's the one in charge of trying to get rid of X and stop all this about, you know, being able to go on social media stuff.
How dare you think for yourself? Yeah.
And Jim Jordan sent her a letter and said she's got to appear in Congress to answer questions about that, and she's been ignoring him. And she's not allowed to. She's not allowed to. Oh, no, Cheryl, America.
Oh, come on.
America's fine, because that's the thing. Everything you're seeing on the news, all of this shit, is a minority that's getting all the attention. If you ask me,
any time there's something in the news, it's always whatever the extreme is, whether it's right or left or whatever. That's who's getting all the noise transmitted out to you. That's what you're seeing, is whatever the extreme is.
Yeah.
If you come to the United States today, you're going to, you know, think that you walk outside, there's people going to be protesting and throwing stuff at it. No, that's not what it is. It's like one town in one state, you know, very far away from like where I am at. And it's not even that big of a deal. If you look at the videos that are out there, there's not that many people out there protesting and stuff like that. It's
just
very, very small minority, but they're making the most noise and they're getting the most camera views, on TV. So America's fun. You could come to the United States and not ever see any of that stuff unless you went to that specific city in the middle of the night, I guess, if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, but like I must admit, when I go in July, I'll be hanging out with Lewis and Lisa, hopefully for a couple of days. If you're still listening, Lewis, unless his internet's gone down, I want to thank you again for popping in. But yeah, I'll be hanging out with Lewis, and hopefully Lewis and Lisa are going to show me around a few, because they live in LA. So Lewis and even when I was in LA, yes, I saw a lot of stuff that was sad, like all the homeless and stuff under bridges and crap. But I also saw stuff that was fine. Like it was a bit of a mix, so that's why I want to go back and have another look. And I'll be safe because I'll be with Lewis and Lisa, and they can show me everything. But yeah, I just found America, just everyone's friendly. Maybe it's the Aussie accent, I don't know. But where I went, and I've been to a lot of places because of the drive I went through, everywhere I stopped and I would say hello to someone, it was like, oh, gee, where are you from? Oh, I'm from here. Like, no one was rude. I felt safe. So I don't know. I love America. I just wish that what we see on the news would be put in perspective. I do hope that President Trump puts people in jail, because this whole thing with all that money, I mean,
that's bad.
That's so bad. And but our own country, like Australia, has got a lot of problems right now too. And it's all comes down to immigration and the wrong people being allowed to come in.
Apparently, all you need is a 23-year-old YouTuber to go and do a few live streams from there, and that's all.
He is. If anyone watching hasn't seen Nick Shirley, pop into your. He might have his own. He has got his own channel, hasn't he? But pop in Nick Shirley, as in like Shirley Temple, and watch some of the things this young man does. He's such a good boy. I'd be proud if he was my son. I just hope he stays safe. Because there's some crazy people out there that are trying to hurt him and others. At the moment, I heard some of the YouTubers, the big ones like Tim Pool, even Ben Shapiro, all those, they've got daily death threats. And I know Tim Pool was saying that he had to move from where he was because someone shot at the studio. But they're thinking of getting a big platform, like a building, like a television studio, where they can all come to do their show in the one building, so that they can share the security and be safe, because it's that dangerous for them, because they're speaking truths. And sometimes sometimes their opinions are pretty like, ooh, you're going like, but we've all got opinions that people probably go, ooh, that's okay. We're all allowed to have opinions. But that's the point. We're all allowed to have opinions. Everyone's allowed to say stuff, so long as you're not too horrible or nasty or whatever. But they're talking about getting together because it's to the point where they're not safe just on their own. So that's what they're thinking of doing. So I think they're working on it. So that will be good. And then people like young Nick Shirley can probably go there and have a studio. But he's from Utah. So, but yeah, it's very interesting, very interesting. And I just can't stomach normal TV anymore, the normal news. I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, it was Channel 9, and they were talking about... It was I think they were talking about the 9 billion, but they were making it sound like Minnesota and Waltz was being accused of such and such, but they're yet to provide proof, and Trump's causing trouble. And that was just on Channel 9. And I'm like, what?
They brought the trouble on themselves.
But then I can go to somewhere like Sky News, and they're actually on the dot, like they're on the, and then I hear people go, Sky News, you can't trust them. No,
Sky Australia is actually pretty good for what I've observed.
Sky Australia, yeah. Sky UK, no, but Sky Australia is really good. They talk to all different people from all the different sides. Sometimes some of the people talking are pretty sort of like one-sided, but then when you know what's going on, you can see that. And then I just read up on Ground News. I go to Ground News, which does the centrist right and left. So the story might be Waltz accused of, right? And then it'll have what the left is saying, oh, no, he's not, he's innocent. What the right is saying, oh, he's evil. And what the middle of the road. And then you get the actual true story underneath without interference of left or right. So, you just have to watch everything and really look and listen. Like so many of these interviews or comments are cut, and as the BBC proved with try and make Trump look like he was calling for violence that day, January 6th, still people believe January 6th it was an insurrection because they're not watching the truth. It's been proven it wasn't. It's been proven that what he said wasn't what he said. And if you watch the full thing, you can see that. But geez, yeah, me too. I don't watch the regular news. Just sometimes it'll be like I'll be doing a flick and I'll go, I'll just see what they say. Because we were watching, I was watching the bushfires, Cheryl. I was watching the bushfires and then things. I can't stomach it. They're just so full of shit. So, but then when you watch enough people, so I think a lot of people get their news from YouTubers because you can pick and choose and you can go back and you can make up your own mind. You can listen to all sides of the story. And that's where I do love Lewis, like Nerd Report. I really do.
A lot of people get their news from YouTubers like Lewis. Also, a lot of people get it from people that are on X, Twitter. Which is why you suspiciously see certain countries trying to eliminate access to X for that very reason, that they're getting that news out there. They're able to sneak it in somehow.
Yeah, and people can see it and go, oh, crap. Yeah. So, yeah, it's but I think I don't know where the world's going at the moment. I know where our government wants to head, certainly know where the UK government wants to head, and it's not good. It's not good. The only country that's fighting to keep its independence and its history is America at the moment. Like that's the only country. I can't see my country. I don't see my government saying, hey, let's get these immigrants under control. Hey, let's see what's going on here. Oh, who's paying who and who's what and where? Like, it's not happening here. So we do need a Nick Shirley, I think. But yeah, I've only got X. I used to have Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I tried to cancel the Instagram account and I can't. It's just, but I don't use it anymore. I've got X. Facebook, I've even just thought I could cancel, but then too many people contact me through Messenger. And I've got Signal and WhatsApp. But Signal's good. Signal's easy to use. But, Trump wants Greenland because of its strategic positioning from a military standpoint. And from there's something else, isn't there, Enzo, about what goes between? Isn't that where the ships run as well for oil and stuff, or is that somewhere else?
Sort of. We can talk a little bit about it here. We can see. Here's Canada. Here's Alaska. Here's Greenland.
Hang on, I'll get out the way. Hang on. How do I make me little? This one. Oh, no. This one. No.
No?
Hang on. No. 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 Done. I'll just go back to what it was. There we go.
This is fine. This will work.
I was trying to make a map.
Basically, what it is, this is Greenland. Here's Alaska. Here's all of the Soviet Union and all that stuff. Basically, the crux of a lot of what Greenland is all about is Trump's plan for the Golden Dome, which is basically an idea that sort of like Iran, Israel has their Iron Dome kind of an idea where basically they have a missile defense system that spans the entire country and can basically intercept any missiles coming in. With if we had all of Greenland plus Alaska, which the United States already owns, we could intercept any kind of missile that comes in from Russia. So that would basically render whatever they're going to throw at us inert, where they can launch up interceptor missiles that'll blow up whatever missiles they throw at us, that kind of thing. So that's not even a threat anymore. Plus, and let's be realistic about global warming. This, of course, being the North Pole, this whole area is normally frozen water. We've been on a warming trend for the last 12,000 years as far as global temperatures go. And a lot of this area is starting to break up, where it's not just a solid ice pack anymore. So you can get direct traffic going back and forth. So this is a new navigable seaway, basically, over the next 50 plus years that you need to kind of control. And the United States, basically, if the United States doesn't take over Greenland here, China or Russia is going to move in and take it over, which is right next to, this is the United States just down in here, stuff like that. That's right in our backyard. That's part of the reason why you saw the movement a couple of weeks ago down in Venezuela. That's right in our backyard, and Russia and China were in their pocket, back pocket there, for things that they were setting up and moving to do down in Venezuela.
And that's been stopped now, thank goodness.
Yeah, and believe me, there's people all over the world, Venezuelan refugees that have been, had to flee that country over the last 20 years that are super happy that happened. And are actually people out in the streets, celebrating, and then weird leftists are coming out saying, no, that's something that Trump did, so you can't be for it. No, are you kidding me? That's exactly what they've been trying to get done for the last 20, 30 years. But basically this is what's going on as far as Greenland goes, is it's going to be part of the new Golden Shield, basically a anti-missile defense system that'll cover this whole area of basically the whole North Pole area, where we can send up interceptors to intercept anything that comes from Russia. So they're not a threat anymore. That's the idea behind that. That's the primary thing. There's a whole lot of other things too, because most of the interior parts here of Greenland are just covered in ice, and underneath that ice is a lot of just untouched resources that China has been holding over her head, and Russia and even Iran has been holding over her head, as far as rare earth minerals and things like that are totally untouched right here.
Yep.
To be fair, and we actually, Karen and I talked about this a little bit before. I don't know what the big hard line is as far as throwing in the military and doing a military type takeover thing that Trump is alluding to where Now you've got NATO countries that are sending troops in, and let's be fair, the troops that they send in probably in total are probably like 30 people. It's not a lot. It is a token gesture for sure for the NATO troops that have moved in there. It's stupid. I don't even understand what this is, because we could certainly just offer, because basically who owns Greenland technically is over here in Denmark.
Yeah.
And they have, they're the ones that are supplying, because there's only like 30 between 30 and 50,000 people total that live in all of Greenland, this entire area. And there we have, there's already an American military base, Thule, which is like way up here. It's from my time when I was in the Air Force, that was the place that you sent people you didn't like, kind of a things. I did know someone personally that just like disappeared in the middle of the night, kind of thing. It's like, what happened to this guy? It's like, there wasn't like a going away party or anything. He's like, oh no, they got orders to Thule Air Force Base. And then as it turned out, there was some discussion about maybe there was, he was like beating his wife and beating his kids and stuff like that. And they shuffled him off to Thule, middle of nowhere. Kind of, it's one of those kind of places.
I think what I was saying to Enzo before too, I think Trump has a history of saying, we're going to do this. Maybe we'll just do that. And then he goes down. So he puts in the scare tactics and he's all.
And that's part of the art of the deal, the book that he wrote, 24 years ago. Where you say something super crazy that nobody's gonna, no, we're not gonna do that. That's bananas. And then you settle down for something a little more reasonable. And the people that are on the opposite side of the, the conference table are like, oh, we got him down. He was way up here, but we talked him down to here. So we're getting something good.
Yeah.
That's my desire.
So I think Trump will get Greenland, but not. It won't be like the 53rd state or anything like that.
It'll be like, because in the United States we have U.S. territories like Guam and Roosevelt Rolls, whatever that other place there is in the Caribbean. I always forget its name, but where. They're technically U.S. territories. They don't have any kind of like voting block or anything like that, but we basically have a base there, and we help them out, help out the local community, kind of a thing and stuff like that. Because there's the potential for growth for a lot of things as far as like natural resources and stuff like that here in Greenland is huge, because it's so remote and a lot of people don't mess with it. But once you design some infrastructure, you put in a giant base like up in here with a giant airstrip, you can start, running roads and stuff like that to the interior wherever these, amazing resources that we can now start digging up and utilizing ourselves, kind of a thing.
Yeah. At the end of the day, everything will work out fine. I do think people say, oh, he's an idiot. He's no idiot. He's definitely got a good team behind him. They've definitely got some ideas. But yeah, what was that, Tanya? Personally, I would like to buy a Take Hobart. Just saying. Hobart gets forgotten so many times because it's like you've got the map of Australia and then Hobart's down the bottom, and it gets, because it's separate, and it's kind of like, it's because it's not attached. It's just this tiny little island. But yeah, I don't know. I think in the end everything will be okay, so long as for America, and actually for the rest of the world, so long as when midterms happen, Trump still has control of of Congress, because if the Democrats get in, it's going to be dreadful. So he needs to do something pretty soon to make everyone go, yeah, he did it. So arrest people Like, just get the arrests done, Trumpy. Like, stop mucking around. Like, just get it done so everyone goes, yes, that's what I voted for. Like, he's already doing, you know, but.
Yeah, I feel that because getting a lot of like the political stuff in there and actually getting to where like the legal part of it, where it'll stick, that takes a while.
It's time.
Yeah.
That's what's taking its time. But at least they've moved on Waltz and that mayor. At least they've moved. They're already doing the pre-thing. So fingers crossed it won't be too long. Let's see. Tanya's going to get a loan from the bank to buy Tasmania. Excellent.
Nice.
So, Enzo, what have you got planned for the rest of the week? What day is it? It's Sunday.
Well, it is.
It's Saturday for you.
Saturday night for me.
Yeah, Sunday for me.
I have a thing that I'm going to be attending tomorrow about the upcoming, coming in like August, September timeframe plan for down in Caney, Kansas, our big Paracon that we have there, the town. Now that
have it in July, so I can come.
Actually, that's what we're looking at doing, is having it in like July, August time frame. So it is something that we're looking at doing. We're looking,
and just make sure you have it at a different. You don't get the Christians there with their Bibles.
Well, as far as that goes, a lot of people in the town were super pissed about them doing that to us. There was a lot, and there were other things that happened kind of on the side that nobody was aware of, kind of thing, like destroying signs and things like that we had paid for to put up. Honestly, just like little things that you would stick in the dirt, go this way to go to the convention, kind of a thing, that mysteriously were uprooted and trashed and ripped up and thrown by the side of the road, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
we certainly.
I mean, it would have been different if you had been there and promoting witchcraft and demon-loving satanic type worship. Then even I would have gone, you wanker, but I still wouldn't have pulled your signs out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
that was their big argument. They were super mad about. We had people basically that were. Because we did have some, psychic reading type people that if you wanted to pay an extra fee to that person to where you would get a personal reading from that person, you could do. That's what the whole thing was about. Was they were super angry that we had psychic fortune teller folks on the establishment. It was really dumb and weird.
So when are you going for the meeting for that tomorrow?
Going tomorrow down to Caney, Kansas, where the rest of the Caney gang is.
Give my love to the Caney gang.
I'll let them know you said hi. Because we're actually meeting with like the rest of the town folk that control what's going on, because they want we're now a non-profit association. We've gotten all of our legal paperwork and stuff done to where we can sort of make a way bigger impact.
It helps the town too. It helps the town, gets people in and going to restaurants and all that sort of thing.
And that's what a lot of this meeting is going to be about tomorrow, because even with kind of like the spiritual blockade that we had last year, we still did amazingly well. Even with like the ceiling falling apart on us at the very end, for my part, we still did. Even though we had a lot of catastrophic things happen, we still kind of broke even. Whereas if none of that had happened, where everything went right,
have made a little bit of a profit.
We would have done great for the town and brought a lot more business in and things like that. So. And a lot of the people in the town realize that, and that's what the meeting is going to be about tomorrow. We're going to go down there and chat face to face and talk about things we can do right, things that maybe had gone wrong last time that we can fix and things like that. So it's going to be a fun, interesting time.
Well, have fun and I'm doing nothing. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow I go to babysit my granddaughter for the day. And that's about it.
How old is your granddaughter now?
1. She turned 1 on the 13th of January. She's 1. She's just little. And she's so cute. So yeah, so I'm helping out my son and his wife with babysitting duties on a Monday and a Wednesday. So because they couldn't get the little one into daycare for those days, so I'll do it. Nanny to the rescue. Well, I hope everybody who's stayed this long, Tanya, Cheryl, thank you, my darlings, and whoever else is still lurking, let me see, I wonder, maybe no one, maybe it's just Tanya and Lewis. I've already said thank you to Lewis for popping in. He did lose his internet.
Thank you so much, Lewis, for stopping by. That was great.
Yeah,
good conversation there.
Yeah, and all right, I'm going to end this, and I am going to go and get. It's 11 a.m. So I've got half an hour till I can eat because I'm doing the fasting thing. You know, the 18-6. I've got a 6-hour window. I've lost weight, so I'm happy.
Congratulations!
Thank you. So, but anyway, you got to keep doing what you got to do, trying to get fit and look after my health. Everybody, stay safe. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you to everybody else who's popped in to say hello. Let's hope that everything in the world settles down. And I'm sure it will eventually. There'll be some other terrible thing we've got to concentrate on. Or it might even be something good. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. So thanks, everybody. And I promise I can't promise. I'll do my best to be a little bit more proactive. Things are settling down now. So, I had a whole heap of appointments in January that were taking up my time and my brain and stress, but they've all settled. So going forward should be okay. And I've got to start planning what I'm going to be doing in July. So that'll be fun. But anyway, love to you all, and I'll see you again very soon. And yeah, just thanks so much. And Heather, if you're still listening, much love to you too. So that's it. Mwah. See you later. Bye.